So it's time for the half-yearly overview of how I did with the goals I set for myself, and also to talk about new goals for the coming 6 months. If you follow me on social media or if you watch some of the last week's worth of videos, you will know that not all has gone as planned. That's what we'll cover today. Let's get into it. So welcome into the screen sharing for the 2017 second half goals and also the first half of 2018 future goals, which I'll share here. But before getting into this, you might have noticed on social media, I shared it on Twitter and also Facebook, that the goals for 2017, the second half here, really have not gone the way that I intended it to go. You'll see that on the coming screen shares here that I'm pretty far from reaching my objectives, but it's not a bad thing per se. Many of the reasons behind is actually that either some of the cases which we'll get to is because I've kind of improved my process, but the other thing is that in the second half of 2017, I ventured into a partnership with another fantasy author called Autumn Bird, and we drive amwritingfantasy.com together. We also have a closed Facebook group together, and we have a lot of fantastic plans for the future. And because of that, of course, it also means that it's time consuming. We've had a lot of things to organize, to talk about, to prepare, and all these good things. So this is taking out time from some of the goals that I wanted to achieve here. So that's why I'm saying I don't see it as a bad thing. It's kind of just how things came about. But yeah. It's okay, I guess is what I'm saying. But let's get into these. So the first one I set out for myself for second half of 2017 was on the business side here, as these are the ones that we're looking at now, and that was to master AMS advertising. AMS advertising is the advertising platform that sits behind Amazon.com, where you can create ads that appear on the Amazon page itself once people searches for books and so forth. And I'm very happy to say that I have really gotten this to work. My fantasy map making book was turned into a bestseller because of it, which I'm really happy about. And basically all my advertising on this platform is operating on a positive return on investment, meaning that every dollar or Danish crowns is what I'm using, I'm putting into it, I'm getting more than one back. So $1 spent is giving me more than $1 back in return. So that's a very good thing. So I'm very, very pleased with that. Next up was also related to Amazon, where I'm looking to build up the reviews on Desolation, because basically when you book wide promotions and stuff like that, those other sites and places are usually referring to how many Amazon reviews you have. And unfortunately, I'm way off the 50 still. If you remember the first half of 2017, I had it set for 200, which was completely unrealistic. So I downsized from 200 to 50, thinking, okay, I can probably reach that. But again, it's much harder to get reviews than one think. So I'm currently sitting with 22, which is massively better than half a year ago. So I'm very pleased and very happy about those, every single one of those reviews. But I still have quite a way to go to reach 50. So if you have read Desolation out there, please go and leave a review on Amazon so I can get up into the ranking there. All right, the next one I set for myself was that I wanted to start doing Facebook advertising, which I've only just started like a couple of weeks back. I still have not gotten the Facebook ads to work similar to the AMS ads, so I'm spending more money than I'm earning on them. But I view this as a long-term thing, basically. So I'm in a testing phase right now, and that's okay. So it'll take some time, and hopefully over the next half year or so, I'll get these ads to work much better. I've also started doing some video ads. I think I'll start using running some on YouTube as well, um, but on Facebook, I believe that videos is much less competitive. Plus, I know that Facebook really wants to show videos in their feeds, so I've tried to prepare some videos for that. So I'll see how that goes. All right, let's transition into writing related goals. Um, and the first one I had was to write and publish book 3 in the Keystone Bone Trilogy, so the last book in the trilogy before the end of this year. And well, I'm far off with that. Which some of it is linked to what I just said about entering a partnership, and which is taking up some time, which I don't have any problem with. Um, so I'm getting close to halfway of editing book 3 at the moment. Um, so maybe towards the end of January, if all goes well, I'll have it ready for alpha reading. Once I get it back from there, it has to go to the editor. Once I get it back from there, it has to go to beta readers and so forth. So it's quite a while yet, and this kind of links to the process optimization I mentioned in the beginning, because nowadays I actually have a full launch process on how I go about launching my books, which means that even though the book is ready, it's still going to take a few months to get it released, because I have a lot of different steps that I go through. Some of it also because, of course, I want to try to build a bit of anticipation about the book's release. So I don't know, maybe May 2018, something like that for full final release. I don't know. That's not something I want to hook myself on, but maybe something like that. And next up was then the box set. So once book 3 is done, then all the 3 books in the trilogy is complete, and then the box set is actually the task of putting all those files into one file, so that I can sell all 3 books as a box set in one, which should be rather quick to do. I mean, it doesn't require that much work of me, because this is more like just putting the files together into one and then uploading to Amazon and so forth. So obviously, since book 3 is not done, I completely failed this target for the end of the year. But next year here, once book 3 is done, then that task should be fairly easy to get done. I also wanted to outline a nonfiction book on fantasy world building, and well, since I'm still working on book 3 in the Keystone Bone Trilogy, and in addition, I on the fly kind of decided to release a second edition of my map making book all of a sudden. Those things just took priority, so I have not done this at all. In between, though, the partnership is also affecting this one, because we do have plans on building a world building course next year. So I need to think again about what I want to do with a nonfiction book on this, or perhaps this is going to turn into a course instead. So we'll see. But other than that, on writing, I also managed to release my Twitter for Authors book, which I should have done in the first half, and now I got that done in the second half. So again, that ties back to the release process that kind of delayed it, because the book was actually ready in the first half, but because I created that release process, I wasn't able to release it until we got into the second half. So there you have that. On YouTube, these are the numbers, the same as always, that I'm trying to measure. So my YouTube engagement, I'm looking for comments versus view ratio of at least 0.5%, and I can tell you that I reached 1.3%, so almost triple the targeting here. So my YouTube engagement, I'm very, very happy with. So again, thanks a lot to all of you guys for watching. That's awesome. In video quality is likes versus view ratio of 4%. I got in at 5.4%, so above target. So I'm very pleased with that too. And when it came to growth, I wanted views versus subscribers of 14%, but I'm half of that. I'm 7.5%. So way off. And I guess as the channel grows here, hopefully over the next half year, I'll see how I'll perform next time we get around to do this goal. The last one here is on Patreon. I was hoping to reach $50 per month in Patreon support, but well, I'm way off, and I guess to some extent I've learned that it seems like, well, this is kind of a hen and the egg thing. It seems like those who already have a lot of success can easily build a Patreon following, where those of us who, well, in all fairness, this channel has a little less than 500 subscribers, which is, of course, in that aspect, nothing compared to those who have like 10,000 subscribers. So yeah, I think that plays into this, but yeah, we'll see. But I'm not giving up on this because basically the Patreon is what will allow me to continue doing this. In next week's video, I'll talk a bit more about how long it actually takes to record these videos every week. So it's an effort, and yeah, we'll get back to that next week. So we're now into the first half of 2018 goals, and the first one I set for myself was what I mentioned before. So I need to do the world building course together with my partner. And then let's see if I can get those 50 Amazon reviews. I don't know, but it's on the table here again. And then as a new one for the first half, I want to triple my half-yearly revenue compared to the half-yearly revenue I've had here in the second half of 2017. So, well, I'll report back to you how that goes. On the writing side, well, of course, I need to get that third book in the Keystone Bone Trilogy complete. And then I need to do that box set that I missed before. And then what I want to do is I want to write and publish a nonfiction book on writing book descriptions, because as soon as book 3 is done, I need to write a book description for the box set anyway, but I also intend to go back and update the book description on all the first 3 books, as I know a lot more about this stuff than I did just like 1.5 years ago now. So I'll write and publish a book on writing book descriptions, because essentially, just like map making, just like Twitter for authors, I kind of like documenting my process as I get to it in the different stages, and basically be helpful by telling others how I go about things. So that's why this is the book that I want to write after the third book in the Keystone Bone Trilogy. Then I want to write a nonfiction book about story ideas, because once I'm done with these nonfiction books here, then I'm gonna start writing my next fantasy trilogy. And as I just said, I like to document my process. So once I get to the stage where I need to develop the ideas for that book, I will write a nonfiction book on that. And as you can see, it does not say that I want to publish it. And this is because I've gotten a bit wiser now. You know, I know now that my publishing process is longer, so it's not realistic to get this done in the first half. But at least I want to write the book in the first half. On YouTube, you know all these. These are the same as before. I will keep those. And I will also keep my Patreon goal setting. So that's it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I do hope that you find these videos where I share my progress and my goals with you interesting, and if so, I would love to hear you comment in the comment section below. Does these kind of videos give you anything? Is it interesting? Doesn't it matter? Should I not do it? And so forth. So just let me know in the comment section below. I'm very curious to hear what you have to say about this. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and see you next Monday.